Dr. Faver here, and this week I just wanted to talk about color dilution in our pets. We've got a lot of pets that we like to get exotic with our colors. We like the fawns, we like the blues, even the whites. We like these abnormal colors. Now, in the past, a lot of those were put to sleep at birth because genetically they were considered defects or throwbacks that we didn't want anybody to know we had in our lines. Now they're sold for a premium, a lot of times to the unknowing public, not realizing what they got with the process. A lot of times genetically when we get these lesser colors, they don't produce a normal hair. In fact, most blue Dobermans that I've seen in years gone past were pretty much hairless on that. They a lot of times have dappled skin, and people just learn to live with that as an overall. The reality is though, is if there's a healthy hair follicle, we can grow hair on most of these dogs. We can actually get fairly good results. Now, is it totally normal? Not necessarily, because genetically it's not designed to grow perfect hair on that. But if we use our hair growth formula, which is Mineral H shampoo, which actually has parts of the placenta, it will help stimulate like a stem cell to grow hair. And then we usually follow the conditioner with orange peck, which strengthens the hair that are already there, and the pH balance, which actually, I always say it's like fertilizing water in your garden or your lawn. If you give it the right minerals, you give it the right water, the grass is going to grow on that. So that's kind of what the pH balance does. Now, what we usually do is we start them off about once a week baths until we start getting stubble and we're starting to see growth. Same thing with your lawn. Once you get that lawn growing, then it's easier just to maintain it. You don't have to keep watering as frequently. You don't have to fertilize it as frequently because now we've started the process. So once we get where we're getting that stubble, then we'll usually back it off to once every 2 weeks until we get the hair growth that we want, or some of them we keep it on for a lifetime, just depending on the individual dog on that. Now, one thing to always remember when we have a dog with lack of hair growth or alopecia, which is the term we use on that, we also probably behooves us to check blood work, because some of these dogs are going to have something metabolically going on. They may have a thyroid condition, a liver problem, kidney problem. There's a lot of different issues that can be a source of that. So before we start into the process, we want to make sure that everything's working internally before we start to attacking this externally on that. Otherwise, what we'll see is we may grow the hair back, but as soon as we stop with our regime, it falls out again because the body's producing toxin and working against us on that. So hope that helps. We'll see you next week.